You know that a lot of people don't understand that even when they do blood transfusion is one thing, but what if I told you they taking bodies, right? They got a soul, and they swapping that soul and putting it in another body. What if I told you that? You talk about a blood transfusion. What if I told that you can take your soul and just put it in another shell and continue to live?
I would think that's kind of what they lead to in the future, but
Not doing it right. What the fuck? You ain't no future. Everything's happening right now.
You think they really got the
What do you mean? I know they're doing it right now. It's proven.
Is that the same as like cloning or cloning people, or what do you mean?
Listen, cloning. Listen.
What's the difference?
Listen, when you cloning somebody, you're just cloning their body. You trying to you cloning their muscle, they look alike, their presence, who they, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. But when you actually transfer their soul, you transfer the essence of that person, right? That's who that person is, right? Besides who they are this time, that's the key to who they are. And you can transfer that to from one person to the next. Right?
Yeah.
What they do, and they can do this during an abduction, during a near-death experience, all kinds of other things. Here's how they do it during an abduction. A man will be taken on board a ship during an abduction. His body will be put into a coma. They will slowly bring the body to death. At the moment it achieves death, the soul exits. You follow? When the soul exits, using technology, they will replace this soul with another, and they will bring the body back. They can do this in 4 seconds using technology. He gets up, there's another soul in there. It looks like Batman, but it isn't Batman anymore. It's somebody else who has a completely different agenda. Now, if you're an ET, a negative ET, in order to manipulate third density, you have to be in third density. And this is how they're doing it. This is how they're doing it, along with, their craft and all the other things. But some choose to be in human form. The Orion, this is Orion technology.
Okay, if you've seen Get Out, then you already know where this is going. I realize it sounds unbelievable, but there's enough evidence to make people question everything. Selena Gomez is no longer the person we once knew. You might dismiss this as nothing more than a fictional story, something that belongs in a novel, but is that really the case? If you watch Selena's videos from her early years up to now and pay close attention to her eyes, her mouth, her voice, and the way she speaks, you'll notice something unsettling. It doesn't feel like the same person at all. Over time, she has seemed less and less like Selena and more like Gina Davis. Time can make someone age, but it doesn't suddenly turn one person into someone else. Selena's name reportedly appeared in the archives connected to Jeffrey Epstein. According to those records, there was even mention of technology capable of transferring a soul from one body to another.
I'll switch your wife out and I'll put another one of your wife inside of her body. And they're walking around and you think that's your wife and it's not your wife. This is what's going on. It's no longer, like I said, it's no longer spiritual. We've figured out how to, turn into spirit and exchange the soul in order to control the vessel. So if I have the vessel and I'm just nothing but spirit, I can ruin your life. That's what everybody has been going through. They still do the same thing is all I've been saying.
As far-fetched as that sounds, and it very likely is, it still leaves room for suspicion. When you carefully compare the present-day Selena to Gina, it's not just their appearance that seems increasingly similar. Their voices and mannerisms also appear strikingly alike. One thing I feel certain about is this. The real Selena Gomez would never have married Benny Blanco. We all know Selena has a history of dating attractive men, and her relationship with Justin Bieber has been talked about endlessly. Then, one day, Justin suddenly left her without explanation. After that, Selena started seeing Benny and eventually married him. She could have chosen someone like Charlie Puth or Bad Bunny, but what ultimately happened surprised everyone. That's why we often see Justin seemingly nostalgic for the old Selena while appearing indifferent toward the Selena of today. Isn't that strange? And it's not just her. Among many celebrities and even politicians, you can sometimes see traces of other historical figures in them. Do you think any of this could be true? Let me know what you think.
Video of Orlando explaining how soul transfer works, which was found in the Epstein files recently.
I'll switch your wife out and I'll put another one of your wife inside of her body. And they're walking around and you think that's your wife, and it's not your wife. This is what's going on. It's no longer, like I said, it's no longer spiritual. We've figured out how to, turn into spirit and exchange the soul in order to control the vessel. So if I have the vessel and I'm just nothing but spirit, I can ruin your life. That's what everybody has been going through. So everybody they can't recognize it unless you say things like the switch. So when they watch that and they see that there's other people that can identify other than me, it's not just me playing games. It's the truth. We have to be careful with who we watch. You be in the car with Paul, man, but you're really in the car with Peter.
It's specifically for them, like even preschool shows seem wildly imbalanced.
Or we're in the car. Sometimes, like Who Says is one of the songs that, but I was 16 and that's more of a nostalgic feeling. But no.
Why does Selena Gomez's father only post old photos of her? No one noticed the last new photo was allegedly from 2017. Someone went through her father's social media and noticed something very strange. Every year on her birthday, he posts to celebrate, but those photos are all old childhood shots. The last photo that could be confirmed as recent seemingly stopped at 2017. Why would a father stop taking new photos with his own daughter? A lot of people say Selena had a kidney transplant in 2017 and medication made her face swell, so she didn't want to take pictures. But if it is just about her appearance, why does Selena still post new photos herself while her father refuses to do the same? There is something else that is even stranger. Taylor Swift used to be Selena's best friend, but conspiracy theorists claim that after 2017, their dynamic completely changed. Medication side effects can explain the face changes, but they can't explain why her father only posts old photos of her. It can't explain why everyone around her seems to be avoiding the same question. If Selena is really fine, why do the people closest to her act like they are mourning someone who is gone?
She vanished into rehab. Same week, a baby was born. One Selena checks herself in Arizona. Weeks disappear. Meanwhile, a child enters this world. No photos, no pregnancy bump, no birth story, just silence. 2 weeks later, vacation, but the newborn nowhere. Strange, right? And now listen to her words. A day without you is like a year without rain. 1 year without rain. Rain, the only child whose arrival was hidden and whose face stayed in the shadows. Coincidence? Maybe, but the internet never stops connecting dots. She sings about surviving without someone. She disappears when a baby arrives, and she emerges different. This is just conversation, just questions. But some mothers hide more than others, and some songs, they're not songs, they're confessions. Look at the timeline, look at the lyrics, and then decide, and the truth doesn't vanish. It just waits for someone to find it. She almost faded, and then something shifted. 1 kidney transplant, body rejecting. She fought to stay, then church Bible study, just in love, hope, and then 7 months in mental rehab. So she walks out and she's different. The face changed, the light gone, and a stranger wearing her smile. There's a clip you need to see, her crying, saying she doesn't want fame anymore. Just wants to be a mom, a family, and then silence. Now Justin's breaking down in public, eyes heavy, lost, 460 million followers, and a brand worth billions. Sometimes the machine forgets the person inside. She's either hiding or healing or something we can't understand. And look at the photos, really look. The first one, that's her, and the rest. Just questions the internet can't stop asking. And the truth, it's always watching.
There is no way these are the same people. Watch these videos with me and tell me what you think.
First time that I was authentically 100% honest with all of you. I think it's safe to say that most of you know a lot of my life, whether I liked it or not. And I had to stop, because I had everything. And I was absolutely broken inside. And I kept it all together enough to where I would never let you down, but I kept it too much together to where I let myself down. I don't want to see your bodies on Instagram. I want to see what's in here. I'm not trying to get validation, nor do I need it anymore.
You know, I will say when I'm with my sister or we're in the car, sometimes like Who Says is one of the songs that, but I was 16 and that's more of a nostalgic feeling. But no, I don't like listening to myself until like tell me like be free and sing this way and yeah, he was sweet.
This next clip is in reference to cloning, but what he says explains how conscious transfer or soul transferring is possible. Watch to the end and let me know what you guys think.
Well, if you go to the hospital today and get an encephalogram, what's that? That's the memory of your conscious mind. It's on the CD, that's downloaded on this being. Now we got a walking, talking duplicate that has the total memory that you have, because we just took it off of your own mind.
Okay, it's like Blade Runner, the android.
Exactly.
My guardians are reminding me that in the seraphim realm, it's not just newborn babies, because we can have souls come in that's called soul sharing. So we can have adult bodies that there can be a soul that crosses over and another soul can come into that body. And that can also happen from the seraphim realm. Have you heard of such a thing?
Yes. I heard about it a couple years ago. I was having a conversation with my sister, and she told me the story because she knows I'm into these things. And she said, Jumi, I was talking to a guy earlier. Maybe, I don't know if he was a stranger or a friend. He was in his 20s, and he said that he's not the same person he was when, for like the first 20 years of his life, that his soul was switched out. And I thought, soul swap. And that blew my mind. And about a year ago, I was on a live with someone I had on the show who was interviewing someone, and she said that I think she was in some sort of train accident, almost in some sort of train accident when she was on the railroad, and she noticed that another soul had entered her body, and there was a moment where both were in her, and then one crossed over, and then it was like this new person, and I just was like, that is so fascinating and probably extremely disorienting. Why does that happen? What is the purpose of that?
It happens because there's an agreement between the two souls where one soul is simply done with their life. They have completed everything on their blueprint. But their family on earth is not meant to grieve them. And there's another soul on the other side that is ready to come in and learn. And so that soul has an agreement with the soul that's dying to upload all of their memories and emotions and DNA, physical, so they take over. So one soul crosses over and begins the healing and transition process, becomes a guide for the new soul. And then there is a soul swap. So no one on earth knows, unless they're an infant or a pet. They would pick up on it probably, or someone really psychic. But for the most part, no one on earth can pick up on that. And even the person who has soul swapped will forget after a week or so. So the people that are in an interview and they know that they've soul swapped, those are very unique people who will retain that memory. It's just simply a loving agreement that they have agreed to before they were born with another, we'll call them a twin flame or a soulmate. And so that death experience is registered as a near-death experience or a death experience. And instead of a complete death experience, there's a swap. Animals do it all the time.
And even that music, Steve, nowadays we compress music. When you have a violin, it's compressed onto your iPhone. So what does compression mean? I'm taking lots of information and I'm cutting it into lots of pieces and squishing it together. And when I squish it or compress it, I have to take out lots of pieces, but I say that they're not very important pieces. It's those pieces that we take out when we compress data, to me, are the most interesting parts of life.
You just said a while ago, part of this new search for science may go back to when people were actually talking about a soul. And
to me, are the most interesting parts of life.
You just said a while ago, part of this new search for science may go back to when people were actually talking about a soul, and you said there's no doubt in your mind that there is a soul. Describe for me what you mean by that. What do you mean by soul? What do you mean soul different than the physical analog body that we're seeing on film right now?
It's difficult to describe in words. I mean, I'm not a poet. Poems get a little closer to what that really means. But even the concept of what is life becomes complicated when you deal with plants and seeds. Is a seed alive? I don't know. Certain people would say, no, it's dead. When you're a banana, one of my favorite examples is the banana that's sitting on the countertop in your kitchen today. Is it alive or dead?
What do you think about human life? What is human? Tell me about human life.
But your banana is alive. That banana's breathing. It's on your. You say that's impossible, Jeffrey. No, it's not.
Is the banana conscious?
All these words. These are words. So everyone's trying to fit a very complicated concepts into a very small box called conscious or alive. These don't fit in that way. So if you put your banana in a bag and put another fruit in with it, the fruit ripens faster because the banana breathes with it. We don't understand most of those things. So you asked the big question. Sorry.
You talk about the life. What about human life?
What about it?
Tell me what do you think? What do you think human life is?
It's a miracle. It's a miracle. And when I say miracle, I can't explain it, and I make no attempt to explain it at the moment. We don't know how to think about it. And anyone, and again, another one of the Feynman quotes when he was talking about quantum physics. He said, anyone, Jeffrey, who says they understand quantum physics and quantum mechanics and quantum behavior, you know they're lying.
Let's talk about it. That's post-Newtonian. Talk about what's the difference, who founded quantum mechanics, why is quantum mechanics taking Newtonian physics and taking it to the next level?
It forms a much broader category.
Let's go back to this desk. You use the thing of Newton using this desk. Why can't Newton's theory explain everything? Why did subatomic quantum mechanics or quantum physics have to come in to explain this?
Well, so let's go right back to square one. Why is it called quantum physics? So quanta is a word that simply means packet, small amount. So it's quantized. So when we recognized that this table appears, another very complicated word, solid to us, it's really made up of molecules or atoms. And atoms, we've given lots of names to what some of the behaviors. If you were in school, when you and I were in school in the 50s, the model was a little center thing in the middle, and an electron went around and around it. It was seen as a ball that went around and around it. And as we started to look at, say, well, let's see what this ball looks like. I want to be able to examine that little thing called an electron. We found that there was nothing there. There wasn't the thing. It was simply a cloud of energy that we can call an electron. So we already started to see mysterious things as we go into very super small quantities, quantum physics. So quantum physics started to go into the very small, and at very small distances, we see things that we can't explain. We just cannot explain.
Take a look at this video clip of Beyonce.
I've been singing since I was like 4 or 5 years old in church, and I know Beyonce has stories of where when she was inside her mom's womb, every time she heard music, she would kick. And Michelle was raised in the church.
Yes, I did a lot of singing back home in church and in school and everything, so, I mean, those are our roots.
See, at the beginning of Beyonce's career, just like many other artists, she appeared to be innocent. But as soon as Beyonce's career started to elevate, her interviews, her music, her performances, they changed for the worse. See, this is Beyonce at the beginning of her career, and this is Beyonce now. As you can see, she has an image of the goat on her ring, her attire, and Jay-Z and Beyonce is on a motorcycle with the head of the goat attached to it. But at the beginning of Beyonce's career, she was nothing like this. Now take a look at this video clip of Ariana Grande at the beginning of her career.
Well, whatever I end up doing with my career, I really hope that it's in this sort of business, whether it's, being on Broadway or recording albums. I really just hope I'm always singing and acting and dancing and, making movies.
Now take a look at Ariana Grande now.
Tommy was like, what about the devil? I was like, fun, What? No, sorry, oh God, the conspiracies that are going to come from that clip. Anyway. You will be another member of the Illuminati. That's my favorite. I love that thing. Everyone always thinks we're part of the Illuminati.
Now nothing is wrong with red, but pay attention to the context.
Oh my God, I wish I brought them.
Yeah, what is that? What, are you just walking around set looking to do readings?
Every day. No, they come to me.
Oh, interesting.
They come to me.
You are a witch?
I am, indeed. The witchiest witch.
See, when Hollywood promotes the color red, they are alluding to sacrifice and being born again to follow the prince of the world.
Fabulous. First of all, tell me about this look, the pressure of the Met Gala. The look is Asta de Lorenza, so I'm very excited. And, it's all about, being the bad guy. So I'm dressed as the devil.
And notice they are wearing red all the time. See, this Sam Smith had to be sacrificed for this Sam Smith to be elevated. And the list goes on. Take a look at Doja Cat. This is Doja Cat at the beginning of her career, and this is Doja Cat now. Now take a look at Taylor Swift. This is Taylor Swift at the beginning of her career, and this is Taylor Swift now. So what is the purpose for doing this? It's to lead the culture into darkness. It's to turn them over to the prince of the world and to keep them blind. So they weaponize music to lead people astray. So if you're not walking in the spirit, you will not overcome this, because we don't wrestle against flesh and blood, but spirits. And according to the text, every seed shall bring forth after its own kind. See, if an apple seed, then you shouldn't expect oranges. I said that to say this: if you sow in corruption, you're going to reap corruption. This goes for Beyonce, Doja Cat, Taylor Swift, and the list goes on. The stars are falling. Don't let anyone fool you. Their time is running out. So don't let these people lead you astray. Brothers and sisters, be not deceived. Watch and pray.
Now you guys see that that's not Beyonce. Now you guys see that that's Wendy Williams in there. I made a video about it right here. Beyonce or Wendy, okay? She did her performance in Texas, and I said, that's not Beyonce, that's Wendy Williams in there. Of course, it did get taken down, so I had to do another one where I was speaking more in code. But I'm glad that now everybody sees it. Everybody was calling me crazy, but clearly there's some soul swapping, soul harvesting, something kind of going on. Allegedly, just my theory for entertainment purposes. For entertainment purposes, none of this is true. I'm crazy. I belong in a psych ward, like y'all said, you know. Remember a few years ago when everybody was bullying me off this app and telling me I'm crazy and that I should go, you know, and sending people to psych wards because of these theories, and now everybody's on my timeline. We love to see it. We love to see it. And if anybody wants to apologize for that, please, you're more than welcome to. Anyway, as you can see, this is not Beyonce. Beyonce is white now. Beyonce is white now, and that's how she won the country album, besides everything else that her and Jay-Z have done to get there. Of course, everybody's got to thank Beyonce because
everything I am about to say is alleged, but this one is juicy, y'all. Faustian bargains. This is the story of the children of the covenant. All right, boom. So the story starts with two chosen child stars that were placed into the machine before they even understood what bodily autonomy is. Every move that they make is watched, everything is packaged, and every success is leveraged. Two pieces on a board that they didn't build, but somewhere in all that control, they found each other. Real connection in a world that wasn't real. And for a moment, they weren't assets. They were just two kids in love. In systems like this, love doesn't go unnoticed. It's low-key a liability. All right, boom. So they're together now, and cracks are starting to show. There's a lot of pressure. They have a lot of expectations that need to be met, and it's the kind of tension that is all around them. So they finally decide to split. And publicly, it looked like young love falling apart, and privately, it felt like they were like literally ripped apart. Almost immediately, they've been placed with their handlers. All of a sudden, they're drawn to someone who's been oscillating in their life this entire time. That's not weird. So the world is watching them in these new marriages, and it feels not romantic at all. There's no spark, and the light is gone behind both of their eyes. It's just like, damn, was the breakup that bad? Both seem to have disassociated with their new partners. This is where it gets juicy, okay? So the streets are whispering about an illegitimate child. Dates are not lining up, timelines are starting to feel off, and people are connecting some threads. A theory forms that somewhere between the separation and the rebranding, this is where the child comes in. Not acknowledged, not seen, but reassigned, hidden in plain sight under another name, another story, and another lineage. A child that, if real, would connect everything back to what was broken. Allegedly. Powerful systems don't just erase your past. They will relocate it. You feel me? And the whispers are getting louder. The tea is getting hotter. And that the child isn't just hidden, but guarded by those who decide what stories are told and what stories disappeared. Y'all, they done hid the baby in a coven of witches. Sad. But now look at them. One of them tries to speak through their music, through visuals, through symbols that feel like they're trying to tell us something. And the other one just feels fake. Everything about it just feels fake. They're still out here working, still visible, still successful, but everybody can see the disassociation. You feel me? And that's what the people can't ignore. A Faustian bargain isn't always like loud and obvious. You feel me? Sometimes it looks like what's happening here. They keep their fame, they keep their access, they keep the life that the world would envy, but they have both lost versions of themselves that they'll never be able to return to. I don't know if it was worth it.
I have a theory. Stick with me. What if the substance is real? Have you ever wished to have a younger, better version of yourself? Let's say, a wild theory here. Let's say it's real, and this person is this person. This is Miley's mom, Trish, and if you stare at them, you don't even have to stare, you can just glance. They're the same face, right? They're the same face right now, but they didn't always have the same face. No, they didn't always have the same face. What happened all of a sudden? Now that Miley's been locked up at the Chateau Marmont and hasn't left it, all of a sudden she's got Trisha's face. Now, I was watching a deep dive on YT on a channel called Deep Dive about Miley and Liam's relationship. And I just want you guys to listen to this real quick.
Gotten it down from thousands to the final 3.
They were casting, and so my mom had gotten it narrowed down to like 3 basically of everyone, of like Liam's character and then everyone's different character, so I went in and like read with them.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was like
an
a blind
arranged
date.
marriage or something.
Yeah.
It's like your mom went on The Bachelor.
Selena Gomez was at a red carpet event posing for cameras. As she shifts her weight, her leg seems to bend unnaturally, almost as if it's not fully human.
This is for all my conspiracy theorists who are noticing what's going on. In this picture, I can see her soul there, and in this picture, I cannot. In this picture, I could see Ariana Grande's soul there. In this picture, not so much. In this picture with Jamie Foxx, same story. You literally can't tell me that it isn't super noticeable when somebody is connected to their soul and when it's missing and then it's absent. Like, honest to goodness, just look at that. Look at his eyes. You can see that there's a soul sitting in the driver's seat controlling him. And here, whew, that is scary, genuinely.
The time has come. The ritual must be performed.
Mother, this is madness.
William, what's happening to me? I feel so strange.
Everything will be all right, darling. Just rest.
Urushda, Urushda, let the vessel be prepared. It is done. The crown shall never fall.
No!
At last, I have returned.
No, this cannot be. We must fix these errors before it's released.
The public is already suspicious. This needs to be perfect.
It is the Queen.
The crown endures through any vessel.
My God, what have they done to you? What have you done?
What if selling your soul isn't exactly what everybody says it is? What if it's a contract on your life? What if there's a way, and you can see it in the movies, what if there's a way to remove your soul from your body and have another soul enter your body and take control of it? Everybody thinks people are getting cloned, and maybe they are. Or maybe they're the same person with someone else behind the steering wheel. You get that contract and they say, all right, here you go. We're going to sign you. You got 2 years to go ahead and live it up. We're going to give you all. That's why when you see them, when they blow up, they get all the big deals. Like, it's not everybody. It's just people who take it to that level. And then they're like, you got 2 years. And then they're like, all right, boom. There's a celebrity, somebody else who's about to die. Their soul can leave that body and take over your body. And you go into their body, you die. And the point is, these people could live forever. They just keep getting a new body over and over and over. And they're sorcerers in this perspective, but they've also been learning. If there is sorcery to learn, they've been learning it for thousands of years. Like, it's the same president every four times. Like, there's 4 presidents. They're just a new soul, new body with the same soul. Or it's the same president every time. It's like literally like that. And that's how they control the world.
So the theory is that these old people, these old celebrities are never truly dying. They're just getting into another body. Very like vampire-esque if you really think about it. But yes, I do think that in a way, consciousness swiping could exist. Now, are we talking about the soul that inhabits the body that was given to us by Christ? No, but I do believe that they have found a way through AI to store consciousness up until the point of being able to put it in certain people. But I also believe it's only achievable through AI. I believe that soul swapping is only achievable through technology.
We have more possible proof that Selena has admitted that she's not the real Selena. After her alleged kidney transplant in 2017, she went dark for a while and nobody saw her. But when Selena finally did come back, she had her first performance and her new song. Take a listen to this and tell me what you think.
I had a surgery with one of my best friends, Selena Gomez. I gave my kidney to her. From the minute I said, of course I'll get tested, obviously it was like, you're my best friend, you're my sister. Of course. But you know, I wasn't educated on kidney surgery. I felt a lot of peace throughout the whole thing, ironically. There were times that I did panic. When I found out I was a match, it wasn't the way I expected. One day, I got a phone call from Selena, a FaceTime, and she's like, "We're a match!" And I'm like, what? How do you know this? So I hang up and I call my social worker and I'm angry. And she told me, it's gonna be hard. The recipient is gonna glow and she's gonna recover a lot faster than the donor is because she's receiving something she needs. You're losing something you don't need to lose. I remember getting a text message from Selena saying, "I'm so scared. I might die." And I was like, what? And I called, I was calling someone, and that's when she got the complication where the kidney turned and broke an artery, and she had to go back in, and they actually had to take a vein out of her leg.
Selena Gomez almost went down. Yo, did you see it? There's nothing to see. All she did was fall down. Should I play it in slow motion? Pay attention. Pay close attention to her leg. Look, guys, in slow motion. How did her leg get like that? It went flat on the floor. It's not a game. Don't worry about it, guys. She's good. If you know, you know. There's nothing to know. She fell and she got back up. That's it. Why did her leg get like that, though? That's the real question. Must have been her heels, that's all. They picked her up mighty quick, too. I mean, of course, they got to make sure that she's okay. This video is for entertainment purposes only. This happened a while back, but she's good. She got back up, and she's been good ever since. It's not a game. I don't know, guys. Comment below. Let me know what you think. I'm out of here.
They are not who you think they are. And they have been here a lot longer than you realize. That's Andrew Jackson for the uninitiated. And that is Andrew Jackson's wife. Andrew Jackson's wife and Miss Maxwell. And like I said, they are not who you think they are. But it's not just them. It's all of them. They have been here a lot longer than you realize. That's General Patton. And these are a whole bunch of sports stars. Tom Brady, Larry Hagman, Houdini, Joe Burrow, Mickey Mantle, Christian McCaffrey, Kobe Bryant, Wilt Chamberlain, H.P. Lovecraft, Michael Phelps, Travis Kelce, the guy who created the Pony Express, Michael Jordan, and Jackie Robinson. It's all of them. Teddy Roosevelt, Robin Williams, who is supposedly dead but is now Uncle Pappy, who literally age reduced to become this guy, young Uncle Pappy, Blair. Viggo Mortensen, Kirk Douglas, Richard and Karen Carpenter, who are literally now Dexter, aka Michael C. Hall and Celine Dion. The entire cast of Seinfeld, who all used to be other known actors, stars. If you can't see that Kramer used to literally be Dean Martin, well then you should probably get your eyes checked. Do you really think Taylor Swift just resembles the Church of Satan's Zena LaVey that much? No, that's her. Do you really think Hugh Jackman just resembles country singer who died at age 33, Keith Whitley, that much? No, they're the same entity. They're not human. They're fallen angels who have been here all along. That's Rudolph Steiner, who became Keith Whitley, who became Hugh Jackman. That's Dale Earnhardt, who supposedly hit a wall, and that's Morgan Wallen. I don't just speculate on this. I don't just mash faces together and say they're the same. I provide evidence. Evidence like Morgan Walling having a gaping scar under his right eye. Kind of like, exactly like, Dale Earnhardt, who hit a wall. A wall, Morgan Wallen. They're mocking you, and I'm trying to help you. And it's all of them, even your heroes like Tom Brady with the exact same butt chin as I Dream of Janie Starr. Larry Hagman, the exact same lips and nose and forehead wrinkles and hairline. But it's not just the symmetry, folks. I don't speculate. I prove, because even though they can shapeshift, their markings, their scars, their physical markings remain the same. Kind of like these two and those two on Larry Hagman and Tom Brady. And they always tell us. Look out, Julian, you're getting older and I'm still staying the same age. And then the other guy says, yes, he is. Funny how his style hasn't changed over the years. They're mocking you. And I'm here trying to help you, show you that you live in a spiritual world run by shape-shifting fallen angels. And as crazy as you might think that sounds, it's reality. But of course, all of this is for entertainment purposes. I don't care about liberating humanity from these fallen ones. No, do it for the views. I'm a satire account. Entertainment only.